Oh, we good, baby.
Don't say
Just
no more.
whenever you wanna.
All right. Did you tip that lady?
The server,
Yeah.
I tipped her. Well, I didn't pay, so I'm lying. Zay paid,
Oh, it is right. It is right. She was
but
all
I
right.
tipped when I went to the restaurant that Saturday. She got a good tip because she was great. She was fantastic. She came and started. She came to my table so much. We were like, you need to. I was like, you need to back up.
Mm.
I started feeling claustrophobic.
I don't mind tipping when it's when I get a good server like that, but I usually don't tip. I don't like tipping. I don't think that's ideal. You know what I'm saying? I don't think tipping is ideal, man.
Why not? Because I try to leave a tip even if the service wasn't stellar.
Why? Why would
Because
you?
I understand the plight that they're in.
Who put them there?
I didn't.
Who did though?
Whoever they employed by.
I would say it would be themselves. They signed that application, not me.
But they're still in that situation though, to where they're depending on customers to subsidize their income, so they can make.
Who fault is that? Is that my fault?
It's not your fault.
What rule is that?
Say what?
What rule is it that I have to tip?
There is no rule, but it's customary.
So I'm not. It's customary.
It's customary
Says
to
who?
tip your waiter.
Says who?
Society.
Our society?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't usually do what they say.
Of course you don't.
I usually don't. Because that doesn't imply right or wrong, which that's subjective is within itself. But I don't think I should have to tip somebody that's already employed by somebody else. That's not my employer.
So, but you have tipped.
I have tipped.
So, who do you choose and choose? Who do you choose and not to choose to tip?
People I like.
So you do it based on who you like.
Based upon me, my feelings, because it's my money.
But if you don't tip,
I don't feel obligated to tip. Is what I'm saying.
So you don't mind tipping if you like the person or you think it's deserved, but you don't think it should be expected of you to tip.
No, hell no. Why? It's already optional. So I'm giving you free money because it's optional.
How is it free money if it's their job to do that?
Because I'm not their employer. That's why. But I don't employ them.
But I've asked people who have waited. I guess that's what you call the act of being a waiter or waitress. And they feel that if you come into a restaurant, you are there to have a dining experience. And part of that dining experience is
having a server
who serves you.
Okay.
Because you could be at home cooking your own food.
Okay.
But you have a server there who should be tipped.
All right. So when you go to the Gap or wherever you shop at, do you serve the stock boy? I mean, do you tip the stock boy?
I don't even think about the stock boy.
Right, but there is a stock boy nonetheless, right?
I would assume they have somebody stocking.
When the cashier is like checking you out at any grocery store,
yeah,
do you tip based upon how nice they are to you? Do you tip them?
If I gave them like cash money, which I usually don't have on them, and there's change left over, I put it in that little tip jar they have by it.
Yeah.
But other than that,
because at convenience,
I do not. Yes, because it's convenient.
Because it's convenient.
But I do not actively tip cashiers.
Okay.
Normally, if they're not in the restaurant, but if they're in the restaurant and they're a cashier,
okay,
I tip them.
Okay, so if you go to any fast food restaurant, do you tip the drive-through window person?
No.
Do you tip the person taking your order?
I do not.
So what makes
most of the time?
Most of the time, unless it's at convenience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, some of them have that little option on the ticket.
Oh, of course.
If I see the option on the ticket and I'm feeling charitable that day,
which is a perfect word for that. Also continue. You know what I'm saying? So if it's
But
Go
if that
ahead.
same restaurant
Mm-hmm.
that usually asks for like
They usually
for tips,
ask. Yeah.
you can either have the option of dining in or dining out. If I dine in and I
Mhm.
have a server, then I will tip. But if I'm going to like Jack in the Box or something
Mm-hmm.
just to go through the drive-through, then nah, I'm not.
When the last time you
I'm not tipping.
tipped anybody at Walmart
You mean with money or gave
with
them
money?
advice?
Money.
I don't think I've ever. No, I'm thinking of people that stand outside, but no, I've never.
Okay.
I'll never tip somebody at Walmart.
Do they not? Do you like if you ask them like, hey man, I don't know what electronics is. You mind telling me electronics? Do you tip the person that helps you to get the electronics? Do you tip the person that check out your stuff?
No,
No, because why don't you? It's not socially normal for you to
it's
do
not.
that. Exactly.
But they're not in the same predicament as waiters.
Yeah, but they could have, but they chose something else. You feel what I'm saying? I don't tip my doctor. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe you should.
You know what I'm saying? I don't tip. Maybe I should pay him after he gets done with whatever's going on with me. That's a whole nother subject though. Shouldn't pay my doctor first and then still have something wrong with me.
So would you be more accepting of the concept of tipping if it was across the board with every profession? Or would you rather do away with it at all?
No, you're already getting paid for what you're worth, for what your job is worth.
But they're not though.
But that's their fault. That's not
It's
mine.
not.
If you listen,
whose fault is it?
it's the person that signs at my job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have at a logistic company I'm at. I do a service to a customer, Michelin. So I make sure their tires get to where they're supposed to go. The truck drivers make sure they supposed to get where they're supposed to go because we serve a customer.
Mm-hmm.
They don't tip us. We get paid from the employer to where we work at.
They tip y'all by giving you bonuses.
We don't get no bonuses.
Well, whose fault is that?
That's my fault. I'm not complaining, and I'm not asking for a tip. I'm not asking for a bonus.
Would you like one?
Would I like one? Of course. If they feeling charitable.
But so you don't think you've earned that bonus though?
I earn my paycheck.
But you don't think you earned something
More?
Yeah.
No, I'm not entitled.
It's not about if you're entitled.
I don't
Or
know.
you're just saying you don't feel entitled to a bonus.
I don't feel entitled to something. I don't feel it's extra. Extra meaning more than what you're supposed to be getting anyway. It's an addition to.
The dynamic that's set up in waiting is
What?
so that we subsidize that extra.
Yeah, and that's
So
wrong.
it's not really. I understand it's wrong, but in the dynamic is there now.
Yeah.
So they passed the law to where they used to have a law before, like 1966, I think it was, that you had to at least give waiters 50% of whatever the minimum wage is. Then I think in 96, because some lobbyists by doing from the National Food Association,
I believe
trying to cut costs or whatever.
As always.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to cut costs. They made it so where you could, I don't know if it was pay them anything you wanted to.
It's like when they
reduce.
You talk about their minimum wage?
Yeah.
That's because if they make more than $30 within tips, they can do that to their minimum wage. So if you make more than $30 in tips, they'll cut your minimum wage. They cut you down to like $2.
It was in a way that they didn't have to do that in the beginning. They could.
No, they didn't.
What?
They didn't have to do that in the beginning. You talk about far as do the $30.
No, that I'm saying the law they passed originally was you had to give them 50% of minimum wage. Minimum, no matter what the minimum wage was, you had to give them 50% of that. The waiters.
Yeah.
And then they did away with that so that employers can give them a lower wage to serve. So instead of $7.25 and it going down like what $3.75 something like, they can charge them $2.13. Period. Like when you sign that contract.
When you sign it.
When you making $2.13 an hour, and you can make your
$7.
You can make the rest of it up with the tips.
Okay.
And the based on like the franchise or whatever is how they divide tips up, or how you make this amount, then we can do this with your tips or whatever. But that's the system that's in place. Since the system is in place, that's why it's expected of us to
Yeah, because
subsidize their income.
Because of a system that I'm not really a part of. Well, I don't have to be a part of. Like this is what I'm saying. If you want me to march with you for your wages, I'll march with you. You want me to help vote, I'm okay. But A, I'm not feeding the monster, and 2, I'm not playing the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing the game. I'm not playing the monster. I'm not playing the game of tipping somebody for all I feel like it's free money. It's my money that I worked hard for, and I'm giving it to you for free because you was doing your job.
So, but you're still willing to tip somebody.
Yeah, I'm willing to be charitable. Yes.
I mean, I agree with you that the system is broken. Like it's,
Yeah.
I don't like the culture of tipping. If we could do away with like dependency on it, I think that would be a better thing for all, you know,
all individual parties that's in. Of course it would. That'll be a great idea.
But how do we deal with that in the meantime while these people are still dependent
if
on
every person
does every waiter quit their job now
if every person stopped tipping, their wages would go up. If every person in the world immediately stopped tipping. Because it goes back to the law I was telling you about.
We have breaking news. TK is advising a worldwide tipping ban.
Yeah, and I don't think that should
be tipping strike.
Yeah,
we going on strike. So you willing
to
make this up?
Yeah, because that'll make them pay them their wages because you have to make more than $30 in tips or be on your taxes so they can charge you or make you say, well, cut you down in your wages to $2 or whatever they get paid. If it's more than $30, if I read it correctly, it's more than $30 in tips a month. So we all stop tipping. They have to be paid what they should be making, which is minimum wage. And in most places, far as tipping, the tips, the servers make more than the head chef at the restaurant. And if you ask me,
that depends.
Of course it depends.
Because if it's like the lower end restaurants, and depending on their clientele, then they're not making.
Of course, I'm not saying that's 100% or 80%. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying in a lot of cases, in a lot of states,
situations.
Yeah, and it's not like 1 or 2 states. 10, maybe 15 states where, I don't want to say New Orleans, but it was a state I was reading about where the server actually make like $27, $28 an hour. Meanwhile, the head chef
when factoring tips and stuff like that.
When factoring tips up, the head chef makes $18 an hour. And if you asking me,
I'm asking.
The person I should be tipping is the person.
Is the waiter.
Yeah, no, it's the person cooking my food.
The chef.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is it? I mean, I think the chef is a skilled position.
Yeah.
But why?
Because in most cases, those people, and I'm just saying to be charitable. Again, that's if I'm being charitable.
Yeah.
And if you gave me an option to who would I would like to pay, it would be the cook. Now, if you asking me,
if you had the option,
if I had the option,
write it out.
I'll write it out to the chef. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's still charitable to me because in my opinion, I'm not saying the service job is not you don't need skill, but the cooks need more skill than the actual server. And in most cases, not all cases, because you informed me about that, a lot of cooks go to school. A lot of cooks go to school, so they have debt, and they actually had to put in time to be where they at.
Yes.
The server did not.
Just showed up. Let me ask you this. So you agree with now that they're trying to repeal the law, I think it was passed 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, 2016, to where they prevented restaurants from pulling the tips so they could also subsidize the wages of the chefs. Instead of paying them more, they take away from the waiters' tips. So now they're trying to get that repealed so the restaurants can go back to doing that so they don't have to pay anybody higher wages. They just share the tips around with everybody.
Yeah.
You fine with that?
Not if I'm in that situation, no. Because like in most cases, then you can look it up. Or we can get into it. In most cases, that's usually a certain amount of people that get tips, and tips really don't. It's not based upon how good you are. It's your appearance.
So explain to me the dynamic of. So let me ask you this, because I remember you gave me an example the other day. What was it? If you're at a restaurant and you get a bottle of wine.
Oh, you talk about what is the service worth?
Yeah.
So
to be able to give you
the same amount of service.
Yeah.
So there was this dude. He's like a professor at a head of a matter of fact, head of like a hotel service school or something like that, where he teach you how to be a server or whatever. Anyway, he had a couple of restaurants or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you know what I'm saying, you don't understand the service. It's ridiculous. There's no logic behind it. So if I'm with my wife and I want to do like $100 bottle of wine, you know what I'm saying, and I'm a 10%er, I tip 10%. 10% of 100 is $10. So I pay that person $10. Meanwhile, there's a person across from me who had a $50 bottle of wine. He's also a 10%. He paid $5. Both of us got the same service. You pop the bottle. You pulled the bottle, you left the napkin. Do you need anything? Do you need anything? We both 10%ers got the same service, but I paid double in tips than the person that got the same service that I did.
Mm.
So how do you differentiate what's worth what? Because my 100 bottle of wine costs more?
I should be expected to tip
pay more?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't make any sense. You don't go to Walmart and if, you know what I'm saying, if these jeans are 18, you know what I'm saying, or these jeans are 20, you don't expect it. Matter of fact, you didn't even expect it to tip, you know what I'm saying? But they don't cost more because they're the same pair of jeans. Unless they got different name brands, which is also ridiculous.
Yeah,
you know
that's a different topic right there. But would you be more accepting of that if we implemented some type of tipping system to what if we try to regulate what these services were actually worth and how much they should be tipped? So this person's not getting tipped $10 and this person isn't getting tipped $5, like this service is worth $3, no matter what it does.
I think that would help, but it's still, if you ask when tip becomes optional, I don't feel like I should have to tip because it's optional. And again, I'm not your boss. I'm not your boss. I didn't employ you. So at the base, that's my base. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not your employer. So even if everything was even across, unless you already put it in my bill, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah. You already put it in my bill, I'm okay with that.
Because some employers, the way they combat the idea of increasing minimum wage is that they feel that it will hurt their business because they have to raise the menu prices to counter, having to pay higher wages.
Yeah, but that's because it's less risk. Because the restaurant business, let's just not take away franchise. Let's just do mom and pop or whatever. The restaurant business is not successful. Like most businesses don't stay open long. Within the first year, most of them close, and within 2 years, if you make it past your 2 year, you may make it up to 5. Most businesses won't after the first year, you won't make it up to 5. So most restaurants
fail.
Most restaurants fail
in the first 5 years.
In the first 5 years. Most of them fail in the first year. It's just when you make it past that 2 year mark,
it's still not.
It's still not high. You feel what I'm saying? So it's less risk and easier to save money if I don't pay you and if you only get tips.
The way I've heard them combat that is, because I personally wouldn't mind if they did pay them high wages, because I am going out to a restaurant to get served when I could be at home by myself. I wouldn't mind if they put like a service fee.
I don't mind that
into the bill. Like this is what it costs to have a server, and they use that to pay the higher wages. I wouldn't mind it.
In Japan, that's what. In some places in Japan, they do that. But even in Japan, you are not expected to tip. Matter of fact, it is an insult for you to tip. It is a whole insult for you to tip because they feel like it's charity and that, you know what I'm saying, that we can't hold our own business up. Only here in America is the highest you have to tip. In America, we waste between $40 and $44 billion in tips. And some of that, speaking of that, the whole, just get a little deep into it, most of that is not taxed because most people don't mention that on their taxes.
Yeah. Some people don't even report it to their employer. They just pocket
the money, right? You know what I'm saying? And to me, make your money, boo-boo. Yeah. Do your thing.
I don't have a problem with that. Do your thing.
Do your thing. all I'm saying is, but here in America, and there's no other country,
Except I think the only we definitely take the most advantage of tipping culture. But I think the
15
only
to
other
20%.
places, I think the only places that do that is what Canada, Mexico, India, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's still, and I'm definitely don't think it's to
In
the
India,
level.
but in India, it's only 5 to 10%.
Hmm.
If you do Mexico, it's 10 to 15. The U.S. is 15 to 20% that we spend. I think Canada was like $6 billion in tips. Ours was between 40 and 44 billion in tips, free money.
So how do we deal with this? You think we as customers should like do a strike, or should we work with waiters? Should they form a union? Like, how do we solve the problem of tip? Because I'm with you. Like, I don't think we should be expected to tip, and I think like the whole culture around tipping should change. But how do we fight the monsters but still make sure they're good in the meantime?
Starve. That's what you do on when you do strike.
But who's starving though? Them or the
restaurant?
Because the restaurant's gonna get paid if we go there and eat there.
Yeah, right.
The only person that's suffering in that situation will be the server.
But the servers can also make regardless of any company, right? Unless you do it like some type of computer or type shit, you need whoever you hire.
Mm-hmm.
So at any point, any person that, in my opinion, that you hire these people. If all those people say I'm not working, something is going to dramatically be hurt.
So they would need to form some type of organization, like a waiters union.
Yeah, some type of that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing. Yeah, you should absolutely do that because those are the ones that suffer the most. And like, regardless of who you tip, most servers live poorly. Regardless of who getting tipped.
I think the statistic I heard by, I think it was the Rock Report or something. No, it wasn't the Rock Report. Waiters are 3 times more likely to live in poverty of any other
other profession. Yeah. Any. So what you need my tip for?
But how do you encourage people to put that together?
If, in my opinion, and this is solely my opinion, if you living as a waiter, like you living your life as a waiter, you don't need much more motivation. In my opinion, this should be already starting. But you know what I'm saying? Poor people. I'm not saying. Let me rephrase this. People in situations where they feel like they need their job don't usually stand up unless it's a group.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually, in my opinion, it takes a sacrifice. A person that's going to have to say, you know what, I'm willing to live on the street, or I'm willing to not have a job for a while. I'm willing to eat, sandwiches, or not eat, or whatever the case may be, to make sure something is right.
Mm-hmm.
Like even in, you know what I'm saying, like when the Rosa Parks boycotted the bus system, we'll walk, or we'll formulate a business where we have our vans and we have these cars. We'll carpool. You know what I'm saying? That was a sacrifice made.
I think the dynamic I see in restaurants is that most people are in a position to where they need that job. Like it's the only job that they could have gotten. I personally think jobs, like, not to diminish anything what anybody else does, I think jobs like working at fast food restaurants, being a waiter, things like that should be like jobs that you get for the time being or temporary, or like you're like younger.
Yeah.
And then, but the most people I see being waiters and stuff now are people that are like in their 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
Can't find a job anywhere else, who depend on people's charity to, function.
And you shouldn't. I mean, I know this sounds harsh, but you should never. In most cases, you always gonna be dependent, because even at my job, we're dependent on a contract from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, but you shouldn't depend on charity. You should only depend on people's necessities. You know what I'm saying?
Explain it a little bit. Necessity. What you mean by it?
Michelin need their tires. The tire company. Like say if I was working at BMW, they need their cars out. You know what I'm saying? So they need windshield. Say if I was working with just putting windshield wipers on, cars need windshield wipers. So granted, I am working for somebody that I'm dependent on somebody,
Mm-hmm.
But that dependent, like me, what I'm depending on is a necessity. What has become a necessity.
So to what we're always gonna need it.
Yeah.
But do you think
My job is not a.
you think waiting or being a doorman or a cabbie is a necessity?
Mm-mm. That's why they tipping is optional. That's why they treat them the way they treat them.
So how do we? So either we get rid of the profession of waiting, or we find a way to make that a necessity. Because if they start automating these,
Yeah, then that hurts. That kills. Anytime you do that, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna hurt.
Because we start automating waiters and stuff,
which is something. I think. I don't know how that works, so I'm not gonna comment on it. I'll take that back. But it's too much to go wrong with serving. Like most servers, especially women, get harassed 80%. Well, it was like 79 point something.
Yeah.
Or where they admit that they get harassed. Most of them don't report it because they
report
it, they don't get no tip. So
now that creates an environment to where
of being uneasy. Yeah. When I go to eat, or when people go out to eat, they feel uncomfortable with leaving the minimal tip, or leaving like, what is gratuity, or that hurts the dining experience. And if you're black, you usually don't get much tips anyway because you're black. Most people that are blonde hair, blue eyes, with big breasts and slim waist get paid more, 50% more to be accurate, from men and women. White males typically tip more. Men in general usually tip more, but they usually tip to other white people. Mm-hmm. So the dynamic is too much. There's a power struggle. There's a power dynamic.
There's too much at play for anything to be on an even playing field.
Yeah, it's not gonna be even. And then like most businessmen pay more than like most couples that come in to eat. They'll tip more than a family. Mm-hmm. The family only came in on a budget. Or like big groups. Big groups don't even tip as much as two people. Like say if me and you go out rather than a group of people, we'll tip more for whatever the reason may be. And there's no good reason for you to get a tip. You can be the best way to end though. I don't know how good, but it is. I did see one dude, he made like 6 figures in tips. I was like, "That you are amazing, sir."
I know. I couldn't find that restaurant in Louisiana to where like they were making like 80,000 a year waiting. I don't know. I can't find. It's got to be like a high prestige restaurant, but you actually can only get the job. Like they can pass, like nepotism, you can pass the job down within the family. I couldn't find the name of that restaurant to save my life, but somebody told me about it, so I don't even know if they lying.
But that's like an anomaly though, like shit like that. You know what I mean? That's not a majority. You know what I'm saying? That's weird. It's like, man,
that's very odd.
Like 6 figures tipping. You know what I mean? I don't even know how true that is, but you know what I'm saying. But he did have like an article where he wrote.
I'm assuming because my I had some relatives that waited, and they waited at some fancy restaurants, and they would get like $500 tips, well beyond what the tab was, just because I guess the customer had it.
Hey, more power to you. But I wouldn't put myself in a position where I
wouldn't do it to where I had to depend on.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think, and it's only a social thing. You know what I'm saying? It's an emotional thing. I feel like I deserve this because I'm doing it.
The pressure that's put you on to leave a good tip.
Yeah, nobody likes the feeling of that. Nobody like leaving a tip should be either convenient, and it is optional, but it shouldn't be, you shouldn't judge a person because they didn't leave a tip. Mm-hmm. And not leaving a tip shouldn't be a statement.
But it is service. Though. It is, I've even asked people like, should you go out to eat if you don't have the money to tip? And a lot of them who are waiters was like, for sure, if you can't afford to tip your waiter, you shouldn't be able to go out and enjoy a meal with your family. That's how I heard it. Yeah. I heard it that way. Like, so because like maybe I've been saving up my money, or it's my daughter's birthday and we live in check to check or whatever, and we can't maybe afford to tip the waiter, but I want to do something special for her. Today, she likes this special restaurant. Yeah. What I heard was, so you telling me that because I'm not doing well enough that I can give you a tip, even though I say it took me a month to save up this little extra change to treat my daughter for her birthday. Mm-hmm. You think I shouldn't?
That sounds silly to me because that can also go in reverse, and that type of conversation shouldn't even happen, because if that person would have said that to me, I was like, well, if you depend on other people to give you money, maybe you should be educated better. maybe you should go to a school that gonna give you.
Wow.
You feel what I'm saying? Like you can flip that and you be like,
wow.
like, whoa, that's kind of deep. No, it's
That was
all
harsh.
Yeah, it is harsh. But what you
That's
just
just
said about
harsh.
them is harsh too, because you want me to be charitable to you, even though I'm doing something special for my family. Like, even when you even when you do stuff for your family, it is not ideal for you to even give cash. Like if it was your birthday, it's not
No.
ideal for me to give you
That's
like
not
$100. But it's more ideal to give you $100 gift card, right?
Yeah, because it shows that you put some thought in, and you're not just reaching in your pocket.
Yeah, so why
'cause you
would I
forgot.
freely give somebody money? I wouldn't give nobody that's close to me money like that. Well, it's not socially normal for me, and I still give you money because I don't care.
The dynamics of that particular situation, or of course, not the same. But
Of course, it's not the
I
same, but the
understand the
idea
concept
of it.
So, do you think we should give waiters gift cards?
That's a toughie. No, still no.
No gift card.
No gift card.
What if we give them a gift card to the restaurant they work at?
I think that's rude. They probably don't want to be there. If I worked at McDonald's, I would never eat at McDonald's. I just wouldn't do it. But I don't understand that. That's just like if you look at some of the other countries, like this is just like Japan, like you do not tip. South Korea, Iceland, they don't want you to tip. It's rude. It is rude.
But those countries pay their people.
Some of them, like the UK, Spain,
Here's
Peru.
here's the dynamic of other countries that's unique to them. Either like places like Australia, well, I think the last time I checked, 2014, like you at least get made like 13 an hour, so you don't depend on people's tips.
Yeah.
Or you at least make it to the point where it's not socially accepted to expect to get a tip. So even if the government regulates that you only get $2.13 an hour, they still instill a pride into you, to where if somebody did tip you, that you would take offense to it. Like, I'd rather earn my money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even necessary that you should pay your employees a high enough wages. A country can still finesse it to where they can pay them less if they create a social norm to where it's not cool to tip people.
I agree with you to a degree. I'm gonna add something to that, because in Japan, one of the other reasons is why they don't like to be tipped, which is, like I said, it's also rude socially. But it's like they find honor in serving. They find honor in what they do.
Yeah. They don't expect anything of it.
Yeah, because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
There's a Japanese word I keep seeing on Instagram. They keep promoting. It's like intaku or something that means to do just for the sake of doing. Somebody will definitely have to check that for me, because I'm pretty sure that is not right.
Regardless, that's what they find honor in what they're doing. So it's only, like I say, man, it's an entitled thing. And like, even like that's what I don't like, that, like the comment you made, I'm saying you shouldn't be eating if you didn't. No,
I don't think it's necessarily a sense of entitlement that comes to it. It's just an expectation.
Let me ask you something. What you hear people say, being a server is hard.
It is.
You hear that? I hear that.
I hear that.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. Do you hear that?
That was the period at the end of what I just
okay.
said. I hear that.
So you do hear that. You hear that,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, being hard. So you'll hear them that they deserve a tip. You hear that? That you said, so to feel like you deserve something is the definition of feeling like you are entitled. You are entitled because I did, in my mind, a hard job. So I am entitled to your tip because I feel like I deserve your tip.
What I hear when I do that is the same way you expect to get a check because you put that work in.
Yeah, because that's what I signed off for. You signed off for depending on somebody else. So you should also expect not to get a tip. When I signed my contract for my job, it said you would be paid this for this. Like what you just said goes back into what I was saying. For that bottle of wine, you know what I'm saying? There is no set price for that. Right. When you sign up, it said you are dependent on customers for tips.
Customer charity to
That's all I'm saying. That's what you read. That's what you signed off for.
So the question goes back to, how do we fight the monster without feeding the beast?
I'm gonna be honest. My first.
It's gonna be some sacrifices.
It's gonna be some sacrifices.
It has to be.
It gotta be. It's gonna have to be like, man, we ain't doing it, man. I think it was DC. Somebody was definitely gonna have to look that up. It was DC when they wanted the minimum wage for like
$15.
yeah, for like.
Didn't they get that?
I believe they did. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
That's McDonald's. Most of the time when you working at McDonald's, man, it's
McDonald's gonna keep rolling regardless.
you feel what I'm saying? Period.
Somehow they did. They did. I think they put a lot of social pressure on them by.
They did.
Stuff like that.
So if you're a waiter, you can put a lot of social pressures on anybody. Because
I think that's a larger problem because that's one franchise.
it is.
In order for them to do it, all waiters will have to unite.
I agree.
I'm down with it.
I'm down. Show me what a sign.
If they want to march.
Show me what a sign, dude.
Because I agree. I'm against like the culture of tipping in the way that it's come about in America and a few other places to where people are dependent on it instead of their employer. What I'm not down with is not tipping someone when I choose to go out and be served when I can do it myself.
I'm down with it.
Which is the other flip side because your waiter could have been an ass.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
Oh yeah, because I remember that. Yeah, I remember that story that you posted on there. Because definitely, if I had known that, then that changes the dynamic. So that's also like if you don't know what your waiter doing to your food, or you don't.
Yeah, I tempt you $10 to spit in my shit.
Yeah,
so, you know what I mean. I think his name was like Chris.
Dita.
Yeah,
you should have known not to trust that man.
Chris Dita. Call black people. Primate says he put 50% of fluids in their food. This is before they get the tip. This is before.
Before they even know. I bet when he saw that tip, and it might have been like $30.
And it was like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is, and that goes into how people are served too, because the dynamic it's a power difference. Black people are not served that well because they are stereotypical not to leave a tip or not a high tip. So the server will go more over here to this white couple than this black couple and serve more. But in this case, he is like putting 50% body fluids in people's seafood, and then like 50% of like what do you say, cooked waste into their seafood or something.
I think so.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? Like, so
do you think he's still expected to get a tip?
You know he
is. Feel entitled to get a tip.
You know he is.
Even though he knew what he was doing.
You know he is. Matter of fact, I take that back because at the end of his comment he said, "No, you can keep your tip." That's what he says. That's what he said.
No, you say he didn't get tip.
He didn't. He said he would tell him.
That's why I have a problem with it. I don't know, because it's not like Chipotle where they make the food in front of you. I don't know what's happening. It's not as transparent.
Yeah.
To what's going on or what's happening back there, for me to be able to further better calculate how much I should give you.
Yeah.
Because I may just be having a bad day myself, and I might take it out on you. And then you might come back and I apologize, but you already spit my food. What you gonna say? Now I need to take this back to the kitchen real quick. You know what I'm
saying? That's too many. It's too many human errors.
There's too many variables in that to calculate how well I should tip you.
And it's like, and waiters, which is sad. A lot of stuff that goes on with waiters is already sad. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're a good server or not, you'll still. There's only a 1% chance that you get paid more than the person that was mediocre. On average, as far as average. You know what I'm saying?
Even if you're doing the same job.
Yeah, doing the same job. And you killing it. Like, you still only got a 1% of getting a better tip. Because most people tip based upon what they believe in, where they from, what the waiter is wearing. I seen one thing, it was like, I seen one for it. It was weird. It said, it's people that are got like a brute, like something in their hair, like a hairpin and a certain type of dress, they get paid more or tip more than something else. It was like, man, you most likely to get paid more because of your shoe size and your service. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, like
that doesn't even make any sense.
It doesn't make sense, and that's what it was. That was basically what they was saying. It was like it doesn't matter because it's so many different variables that you can't calculate what you need to do to be a good server. Because you just and then it also plays down like their service job is also always getting played down. Like, oh, these are just college kids trying to, this not their first job. They just having this job for the time being.
So we can do whatever. Yeah. And pay them whatever.
And people always feel entitled, or like feel power and like, okay, you better treat me nice or you ain't getting $5 or $10 on your bill or what. It's like it's too much. It's like there's a power struggle. There's an entitlement struggle. It's like it's too many variables.
When it comes down to it, I think the whole culture should be done away with. I think it would be better if because if we get rid of the dependency on it, the social stigma of it will go away, and then it
Yeah.
will be seen as an actual charitable act when you take somebody's luggage or when you give somebody food and you just like give them a couple bucks or whatever. I think over time, if we are we able to reform that, then things will change.
Maybe, man. But people got to change the mindset. That's all. I know. I don't. What I tell you? Well, today, matter of fact, when I was in I was at the store before I got here, and I gave that woman just I just paid her like you said, like I just paid for her whatever she had, her $3 of groceries or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even say that. I didn't say nothing to her. I ain't want to hear it. Got in the car and left. That's how charity's supposed to be. Cause that's what tipping is. I should give you something out the kindness of my heart. And if my heart not kind, if my heart is not kind, that's just what it is.
So in my head, either what if we just make every restaurant self-serving to just eliminate that position?
I go up and get my own food.
Yeah,
that's what a buffet do, right?
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. I came for the food. I didn't come for the sword.
You didn't come for the environment. You didn't come for this. Cause it's part of the reason. I think that's one of the main reasons I hear from people is that you're paying for the experience of being served.
I came for the chicken. You know what I mean? Like, we go to Twin Peaks, right?
I will say this. I've never said I'm going to cantinas for the service.
You feel what I'm saying?
It's always about the chimichanga. Yeah. It's always about the chimichanga, fam.
Like, you feel me? Like, we go to Twin Peaks. You know what I'm saying? And there's women there, in skimpy dresses or whatever the case may be. Whatever. They use that for you to tip more and for you to come in, for more people to come in, like Hooters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I just go because the chicken with the egg on top, I haven't found it nowhere else other than Waffle House. You know what I'm saying? And I don't always trust them, so
I've never trusted Waffle House.
I may get that when it's late and everything closed.
We're not in college anymore.
No, it's over with. But I go there for my chicken with my egg on. That's all I want. If the cook should leave that do that, it was one specific cook that did that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my restaurant no more. You know what I'm saying?
I
didn't come for the service. I mean, and I wouldn't go. I will say this. I wouldn't go some places where the service is bad. You feel what I'm saying? Like that one restaurant they got where they actually talk shit to you on purpose. I wouldn't go there.
You would like that?
I would like
That's
that.
why a lot of people go is because they talk to you in the kind
Of course,
way. I understand it.
I understand it. You know what I'm saying? People just want to talk shit to you. What if you a boss somewhere and everybody speak to you, not everybody fake to you?
That's your main restaurant.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying?
Get what you getting.
You bum ass, bitch ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why you would go. But
that's on some dominatrix stuff right there. That's deep.
Maybe you just need some truth.
Something.
Maybe you need some something. You hear too much good in your life. You know what I mean?
Power, because I heard that's why a lot of powerful people like being dominated because they used to having everything their way. So if we go into this restaurant, I need you to talk dirty to me.
It's like a female that always get, or it's like anybody, female, male, anything. It's like when you get all the women you want because of your money. You feel what I'm saying? You get money, or you popular, or you famous or something. You get somebody that don't really care about all that. Now you stuck. You're like, okay, this is, he mean this or she mean this because all these other stuff that I have is an illusion. But no.
So in conclude, where are we with tipping? I think
there should be a better system for tipping.
If tipping is to still exist, there should be a better tipping. System.
And I agree, and I'll sign up, dude.
But here's the thing: should we do away with the culture? You think? Because I'm fine with just giving away the whole
shebang,
the whole thing. But if we're pushing for tip reform, then that's something different. Because I'm an anarchist. I'm saying burn it to the ground and start over.
I'm saying I'm cool with either one. Only based because whatever the policy of the restaurant, that's the policy of the restaurant.
That's whatever.
You know what I'm saying? If the restaurant say you're gonna get a service fee,
the restaurant only has as much power as the government will give to them.
Regardless, let's go there then. Regardless of what the government is, You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm all about the fight, but it's not technically my fight. You feel what I'm saying? It's not technically my fight.
I will help you because I'm feeling charitable.
I'm helping you because I'm charitable. And I understand.
I don't have to be out here in the
I don't
streets.
have to be out here.
I don't have to be in this mark.
But I will fight with you. Because you know what I'm saying? I think you should.
Is it your fight in a larger, I think it's your fight in a larger grand scheme of things of employers and the government being able to do whatever they want.
Maybe.
In that regard, I think it is, at some point, any like, what's Martin Luther King say? Any inequality.
No, that's what's the name?
Injustice.
That's not. I don't think Martin Luther King said it, but you might be right. But it's like he
any
said,
injustice anywhere is a threat to justice anywhere.
No, everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
An injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere.
Yeah. I think at some point it all intertwines together.
Yeah, if you make it that way, I'm just saying
I'm like my man from the Justice League. What's his name with the question that you go on his house? He got pictures with strings attached to.
Oh yeah, my man.
Everything's connected. Rorschach.
Yeah, he's my man. But
everything is connected.
I'm more like Fave. Like y'all, I'm here when you need. Yeah. I'm here when I feel like getting up. I'm not obligated.
If it's not at this level,
it's not. I'm not
knock on my door. You take that to Batman.
Like you say that to Batman, Superman, and them over there.
If it's not a universal threat, I don't need to wake up. Don't
wake me up when it's a powerful being in front of me. You know what I mean?
That is the only time he show up. He'll pop out of that wormhole. Like, we need to move.
Yeah. Something's coming.
Something is coming.
And I'm going to need your help. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? I'm with the fight.
But if Superman getting laid out, he at home watching TV.
They better band together. That's why I'm at with it, man. Like, I'm willing. Don't get me wrong. I'll sign that paper.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sign it. I'll fight for you. I'll march. But you gotta understand, it's your industry. I got my own industry that I have. You know what I'm saying? That I work for. So within that industry, if there was a problem, then I need to stand up for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's my problem. I don't expect waiters to get behind me. But if they are charitable and feel charitable enough to make our masses bigger, then I'm with it.
All is well.
Yeah.
So be it.
That's where I'm at with it, dude.
That's where I'm at with it.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
tip your waiters if you feel so inclined.
Yeah, most definitely.
But you
don't do it anyway.
You just don't like the stigma behind them not tipping.
No, I don't like the stigma behind tipping in or not tipping. Regardless of either one, it shouldn't be a major statement. It shouldn't
be a big deal.
No, it's optional. It's optional. If I don't shop at Publix and I go to Barlow instead, Publix ain't gonna be mad. They not gonna, you know what I mean? It's not, that's how I think that should be. Like, man, if I tip it, and you shouldn't take it upon yourself to feel like I didn't tip you because of your service. This is what I believe in. This is my feelings. I don't feel, it's my feelings and my money is depending on where it goes, it's dependent on me. And I don't want to have to give you that. You know what I mean? Like, it's mine. It's my money. That's your job.
I'm with it, man. I'm always down for the revolution.
Oh, I'm down for it now.
I'm always down for it. So either we reform tipping or we do away with the whole culture of tipping.
The whole culture of tipping, yeah, I agree.
That's what I'm at with it.
Yeah, say no more.